No sé cómo se está viendo esto, la verdad. Estoy en un en vivo ahorita. Que no sé cómo me vaya a salir. Entonces, vamos a pasar ahorita a iniciar a ver el día 1 del estoy muy trabado ahorita. De VGC, del campeonato mundial de VGC 2018. Ya, Rexter, ya, ponete a hablar bien. Ok. Como ustedes sabrán, el día de hoy iniciamos con la competición mundial de Pokémon, ya sea en TCG, VGC o Pokémon. Entonces, como mi canal va muy dedicado a lo que es Pokémon, el videojuego, vamos a ver las matchups de las Swiss Rounds ahorita que están en Twitch. Entonces acaban de pasar las matches de los anteriores campeones mundiales. O sea, el campeón de 2017 Ryota Otsubo y el campeón de 2016 Wolfie Glick, que los dos ganaron en un 2-0, Ryota contra un argentino y Wolfie contra un japonés. Entonces ahorita no sé contra quién toque, la match está próxima a empezar. Están hablando más o menos ahorita de cómo un Tyranitar funciona en todo lo que es el metajuego, y que está siendo muy utilizado al parecer. Entonces vamos a ver qué onda ahorita con todo esto. Solo vamos a transicionar la escena. Las matches comentadas. Ahorita no sé de qué están comentando, la verdad no escucho. Dígame si falta algo, es que no sé. No se miran los comentarios por alguna razón.
More strategies weren't at least reasonably viable, and I think both Amoonguss and Tyranitar are really good at kind of just being catch-alls, where even if you're playing something you're not expecting, Spore is still good, Rage Powder especially is still good, Clear Smog is void.
Voy a probar si alguien está
moves that are
comentando
just for specific matchups. I think it's really crucial.
So you mentioned it a little bit, we've seen some more niche Pokemon, some more unique strategies in these early rounds of day one of the Pokemon 2018 Video Game Championship Series World Championships. And we're obviously day one, you're allowed to use a team, and day two, you can change teams if you progress onto day two. Do you imagine that some of these strategies wouldn't make the cut in day two? Do you imagine that players would want to go for those more defined teams with the highest stat potential?
Ok, vamos a ver si alguien ha comentado. No, parece que nadie ha comentado. Voy a comentar algo. Hola, a ver si se mira en el chat. Sí, sí sale, entonces nada. Vamos a regresar a Twitch, porque pues, o sea, quiero ver esto. Quiero ver bastante esto. Ajá, here comes the fun stuff. No sé, estoy bien sordo ahorita, no estoy escuchando tanto de lo que debería. Ahí está.
Unless you think you can play that better than they can, you got to have something else that beats it instead. And I think the right play is to try to run something a little out of left field, and that's what we're seeing so far.
Especially if you're going through day one, there are a lot of Swiss rounds to get through before you even make it into day two, and then the knockout stages. You've got to think about mental stamina at that point, and with teams that are more well known to every player, you're compromising your own mental stamina because you have to prove that you can outplay them each turn, whereas
ahorita están hablando más o menos de los equipos meta y de los equipos no meta, y que tu estrategia debería de funcionar contra los equipos meta, o sea, equipos meta se refiere a todo lo que viene siendo, no sé, me imagino que la combinación de Tyranitar's,
Yeah, absolutely.
Tyranitar's, Coco y demás. Ahorita va a iniciar la round 2, la round 3 que diga.
Well, Brendan Zheng, a previous world champion as well. He won back in 2013, I believe, and we're just bringing you all the world champions
Oh,
here in the
es Babytron, es Babytron.
World Championships.
Babytron contra alguien. Babytron es el apodo del hermano de Cybertron. Aaron Zheng o algo así. Sí, Aaron Zheng es un nombre de Cybertron. Es un buen canal de VGC. Lo deberían de ir a ver, muchachos. Deja ver un montón de estrategias muy buenas para diferentes tipos de equipos. Hay un equipo.
Brendan's team is plenty of fun too.
Yeah, I'm so excited to see these teams. Round 3, the Pokémon World Championships. Juan Pablo, Charizard, Landorus, Raikou, Hitmontop, Tapu Fini, and Metagross going against Brendan's team of Tapu Koko, Kartana, Clefairy, Salamence, Nidoqueen, and Snorlax.
Juan Pablo, me imagino que va a ser un jugador latinoamericano. ¿De qué país? Ni idea. Me pregunto cómo les estará yendo ahorita a los guatemaltecos.
Yeah, I'm kind of fun to see that too. You know, it's like I was surprised that more people didn't copy at the North American International Championships.
Okay, vamos a iniciar ahorita la round
2. But I think a lot of people realized after the Japan event that, man, I don't really have any answers to Nidoqueen. Really tough Pokemon to play against. And
Eso es cierto, había un Nidoqueen, no me acuerdo qué mundial, no, qué mundial no, qué juego. Juan Pablo es chileno. Ok, y ambos llevan 2-0, qué raro. Un Raikou, ¡a la madre! No vi el team preview. Pero qué onda, un Raikou, es algo súper raro de ver. Raikou súper mega raro de ver contra un Snorlax Coco.
Yeah, and there's a pretty dangerous situation here because of that Snorlax. You know, if Tapu Koko knows a move like Volt Switch, perhaps, just attacking, getting out the Clefairy and getting a belly drum up early, there's not a whole lot you can do about this. The electric terrain is going to help Raikou, so Brendan's got to be a little careful on defense, but other than maybe a big double target in the Snorlax slot, there's some potential here, so yeah, and wow, switch.
Metagross leaving the field in favor of Landorus Fairy form, the first Intimidate of round 3 coming out here. Very important to get some of that onto Snorlax, unless it's going for that belly drum, which will just disregard it completely. Volt Switch coming out from Tapu Koko into that Landorus Fairy slot, trying to get some chip damage onto Metagross, and we see the Electrium Z coming out from Raikou.
Yeah, probably not what Brendan's expecting here. The few times we've seen Raikou, usually it's a little more supportive, so this could be some big damage. And with no Volt Switch, if he was trying to go to Clefairy, now there's no friend guard protecting Snorlax.
Pero Snorlax yo creo que lo va a aguantar.
Electric terrain is in effect.
Normalmente se lleva con full bulky, muy poca... ¡Oh, la bestia! Sí, lo va a aguantar. O sea, lleva un montón de bulk Snorlax.
The berry activating again, bringing in over half HP, but the belly drum's going to
ahora,
put it down in the red once more.
Lo que pasa aquí es que Snorlax es mucho más lento que Lando y Raikou, entonces fácilmente pueden piquear la KO. Tampoco creo que va a ser Specs por el Volt Switch que hizo.
Tricked him a little bit, where blocked the Volt Switch, got big damage off with a Pokemon you almost never see holding a Z Crystal, and Raikou has really put Juan Pablo in great shape.
Sí, muy raro y muy bonito de ver un Raikou ahorita.
Where it doesn't want to fight out of these Pokemon anyway. It's going to be tough for Brendan to get any momentum without just weakening the Pokemon in the back with switches. This is a big lead for a 4-4 game.
Yeah, and
sí, muy bien hecho con el lead que traía.
He doesn't go for it, he goes for that U-turn, preserving Intimidate for later.
Lando es Scarf.
Taking a little bit
de
of
aquí a
damage,
China, Landorus es Scarf.
Yeah, now can bring in anything he wants here. The one good thing about that for Brendan is, you know,
no
Landorus moving
Coco
before Tapu Koko is a little suspicious.
No es que Coco no lleve Ips en la velocidad, ni siquiera Ips, o sea, 0 Ips. Yo creo que ni siquiera así lo expidea nuestro queridísimo Lando, pero igual. Skydrop, ¿a quién se va a llevar?
Really great play
here.
La
madre,
Raikou will not be able to move this turn. Frustration going into what used to be Landorus. Metagross surviving that hit due to the reduced damage because of its steel type.
Sí, o sea, qué daño le hizo. Ahorita Skydrop va a impedir que Coco pegue, por lo que Tagros tiene un golpe free. Lo que pasa aquí es que Tagros puede tener un Meteor Mash o Bullet Punch. No sé, estaría bien raro las specs. Yo creo que Snorlax va a protegerse.
He's kind of brought the value back.
Yes, and getting that
Raikou
good chip damage onto
tiene las de
Metagross
pegar
makes
después del
Tapu Koko's
Skydrop.
life easier later on in this
Así que
game.
no
We see
sé
the Mega
cómo
Evolution coming
Lo
out
que
now.
pasa es que
Clear Body
Coco
being
speedea
removed for
todo
top
lo que tiene en
claws.
el campo. Ajá,
And
Snorlax se
the
va a
Snorlax going
proteger.
to protect itself. Very good information for Juan Pablo for later on in the
Juan
set.
Pablo.
Skydrop
Me
obviously
cae
bringing
la risa
Raikou
como
back down,
pronuncian
not
los
doing
griegos
too
los
much
nombres
damage.
latinos.
It's a resisted hit. And we, oh, a little
Crítico.
critical hit there too, very nice. Thunderbolt
T-Ball
coming out from
contra Snorlax,
Raikou,
ok, me lo
going into
imaginaba.
that
Hiciste meter
Snorlax's
más.
protect
Oh,
as
hizo
a
Stomping Tantrum.
being revealed. That's a slower Metagross than I was expecting.
Yeah, the Metagross does move after the Tapu Koko. Often when Tapu Koko knows Skydrop like this, they're a little slower than normal, not trained for that maximum speed, but Metagross still able to pick it off, and Juan Pablo kind of reestablishing his lead. Now you've got that weakened Snorlax in the field.
Salamence,
Metagross is going to be intimidated here, but Salamence
Metaro
got
ya no tiene clear body,
back
por
in
lo
this one.
que
Going to be tough to get another attack off the
está un
Snorlax.
poco pisadito aquí. No sé cómo es que no sé Raikou qué va a hacer, si tiene HPIs para pegar la Salamence. Metaros va a protegerse probablemente. Lo que pasa es que tiene la amenaza de Snorlax todavía ahí. No sé cuántos, no sé si cuántos la base de
definitely don't want to take that on your
Raikou
Salamence if
contra
you
la
want
de
any chance of coming
Mega
back at this one, though. If the
Es
Electric Terrain Thunderbolt would do
tanto
nearly as
raro lo
much.
que
We see the
Nidoqueen.
Nidoqueen coming out here.
Okay.
Very interesting Pokemon to face off
Sí,
against.
es que
Both Pokemon weak to ground type
Nidoqueen
attacks.
contra
Salamence
Nidoqueen.
trading
Nidoqueen
its
tiene más
intimidating ability,
potencia
going to activate
que
area
Nidoqueen,
lanes,
pero
which will
Nidoqueen
boost
tiene más
its
bulk.
normal
Es
type
lo que
attacks, changing them
busca
into
un
flying
montón
type,
de gente
and
en
getting
este
a little
juego.
extra boost as
Metaro
well.
se va a proteger,
Attack
obviamente.
coming out from Metagross here.
Ahora,
It is a very
¿qué va a
valuable
pasar?
Pokemon at this
Tailwind.
point. Tailwind coming out from Brendan. Great play. Nidoqueen will really appreciate that little extra bump in speed as the Thunderbolt goes
toda la vida,
into that
sí,
Snorlax
Nidoqueen
slot.
va.
What a turn for Brendan.
Oh man, that was
Aprecia eso
huge.
y a Metaros le va a hacer
Somehow
un
from that
hijo.
precarious looking position, he takes no damage, he gets Tailwind, and he gets Nidoqueen on the field for free.
Sí, muy cierto,
Fast
muy
Nidoqueen.
cierto.
Surprisingly enough, one of the most intimidating Pokemon in the video game championships. With the sheer force and life orb, it does an absurd amount of damage
Sí,
to
o
almost
sea,
everything.
hace un
There's
montón de
great
daño
type
Nidoqueen a pesar de que
coverage,
tenga
and there's really
menos
nothing in
ataque
Juan
que
Pablo's team that can take all of its
nuestro querido
attacks, so
Nidoqueen.
he's going to have to make
Pero
great
aún
predictions to survive
así,
this.
Well, this is why
hace un
Landers is
montón de
hitting
daño.
pitch from Juan Pablo. He's going to be bringing out
Hitmontop.
Another intimidate.
Double
Very nice
intimidate.
play there. Trying to control
Okay,
the Salamence
está
before it
bien
gets
raro
too
su
out of
equipo,
hand.
o sea,
Nidoqueen doesn't care
Hitmo-
about intimidates though. It's a special
Es
attacking
raro su
Pokemon.
equipo.
Frustration
Ok,
will
bien
go into the
hecho
Hitmontop.
aquí
Super
con el
effective
double
damage.
intimidate,
But you can
pero
see
aún así,
how
ella
those
Quota,
intimidates are
no.
working here. Earth Power,
Ok,
very good switch from
tarjeteaba
Juan Pablo's
a
side there.
Raikou.
Electric terrain ending, so Raiku's damage output will be a little late,
Ok,
a bit lower
sabemos
later on in the match.
que
But
Landos
Nidoqueen
Scarf,
still
lo que no
a
sé si
huge, huge
outspeedea
threat.
a Nidoqueen.
Yeah, I mean, Juan Pablo storming,
Bajo
or
Tailwind.
preventing Brendan from storming back a little bit there, dodging that Earth Power, prevents
No
one of his
sé
Pokemon from
cómo
being
tendrá
knocked out.
entrenado
But
al
Salamence
Nidoqueen.
now able to at least threaten a knockout on this
Voy a buscar mis
Hitmontop.
audífonos, así
You'd
le
expect
pongo atención a
Hitmontop
lo que
coming in
están
there,
diciendo
trying
y
to
se
get a
los
fake
voy
out, most
comentando.
likely on Nidoqueen, just to start slowing down Brendan's offense until this Tailwind expires. Kind of a tricky play now, though, where whatever you don't fake out is threatening a KO and is much quicker because of Tailwind. Juan Pablo's
This earthquake now, but then Nidoqueen is free to come in and
Salamence
start
puede
wreaking
hacer
some havoc.
Tailwind ahorita,
absolutely
volver a meter a
fantastic
Nidoqueen.
play by Brendan. He's still behind in this
Y
game,
Nidoqueen
but he
puede hacer muy
absolutely had to hit that if he wanted to have a chance
protect
at
para
this.
protegerse
He
de un
burns the
posible
fake
earthquake de
out
Lando.
by switching Nidoqueen out. The combination of fake out and earthquake hitting Nidoqueen would have ended this game. There's no way he's coming back from that. But
Sí.
he gets Nidoqueen back out without paying anything.
Sí, muy
You know,
cierto. O sea,
Snorlax fainting
aquí lo que
actually
dijo es
helps
muy
him
cierto,
there.
que si
And
a
now
Nidoqueen le hubiera
Nidoqueen
pegado
is
el
out in the
earthquake,
field against a bunch of
no
Pokemon he can do a lot of
contaba,
damage against once
Brendan
again.
no la contaba.
It'd be interesting to see if Brendan reveals if his Salamence is running special attacks, because those two intimidates
Sí.
are very, very bad for it at this point
Sí,
in time.
pero el
It has no
frustration
good way
no-
of
yo
hitting
creo que
Metagross
no-
or the Raikou without some sort of coverage move, and it's a very, very difficult spot for that Salamence, but Nidoqueen is the real premier here.
Yeah, and I think the other thing too is both,
Sí, o
both
sea,
sides need
sí,
to
yo
think a
creo
few
que
turns ahead.
Raikou debería
I think if
poder
Brendan's
ser
going to win
hábil
this
de
one, he has to
hostigar
get
a
a
nuestro
second
querido
Tailwind off.
Salamence.
So he needs to keep his Pokemon healthy enough that Nidoqueen can
pasa es que
attack in
Nidoqueen se va a
Tailwind
proteger,
2,
pero-
most likely. There's still a lot of damage to do. This Tailwind is probably not going to be enough.
Ajá,
We'll have to see
muy
if we can
cier-
get
cierto.
Tailwind 2, Electric Boogaloo coming out in the field. But first, Metagross hitting the field once again. Raikou going to protect itself here. Doesn't want to eat an
Yo
Earth
creo que
Power.
no era
And
la
we see
play.
frustration. Going to go into the Landorus slot.
okay.
Metagross eating
No
that
muy
up. That was
efectivo,
no
y
damage
ahorita
at
Ice
all.
Beam
Ice
de
Beam
Nidoqueen
going to
hacia
cover that slot as well.
Lando.
Very, very nice play from Brendan. Not enough for the knockout though. as
y se va el
tailwind ends
tailwind.
as well.
Esto es...
Excellent double target, but it's just like not quite enough. That return just a little pitiful after all those intimidates. And now we're in a really fascinating spot. Like I mentioned, Brendan really could use that intimidate, or that tailwind, but it's kind of tricky, right? Where if you use return into the Metagross slide, you have to wave it attacking, but Earth powering Raikou isn't necessarily safe because of Landorus being in the back too. There's a lot of things to manage on this play where like both sides kind of just need one more big win on a turn to take this game.
Just see how Raikou plays against Salamence. Usually faster than Raikou, especially in its mega form, and we'll have to see if it can get up this tailwind and support its Nidoqueen in the best possible way. He's not going to go for it though. Instead, going to knock out that Metagross, protecting Nidoqueen from any Zen headbutts or psychic type attacks that Juan Pablo might want to go for. There is the hidden power. Hidden power ice, you imagine, going into that Salamence. 4 times super effective. It probably is ice then. And it sits in the yellow HP range. And Earth power finally going to Raikou. Nidoqueen proving it's here to rule over this game.
Ahorita Lando al ser Scar no puede hacer nada.
And sending out Landorus against a Pokemon you know knows Ice Beam is a little scary.
Yes,
Ice Beam is a little scary.
Really
es super scary, no puede hacer nada.
Juan Pablo, and he must be thinking about game 2 already. He must have been thinking about it a couple of times ago when he saw how much pressure Brendan was exerting.
No creo que no va a ganar.
There's no way to stop Brendan. I guess no way is an exaggeration, but other than a rock slide here, it's going to be tough. You know, if Brendan uses Protect and Tailwind and gets it off, Nidoqueen will close the game, so he has to use rock slide to stop Salamence.
No, ni siquiera flinchando van esta match, o sea,
Salamence
no sé cuánto bull lleve
Nidoqueen can
pero igual es
attack off. Ice Beam
muy poco
will be
efectivo, no me
enough
recordaba
to... No! Flinch coming out here. That is just what Juan Pablo likes to see. But look how much damage that rock slide did with the boost, because Salamence has now been knocked out. He's going to need a couple more flinches to go here. There's the first rock slide. It's going to be another flinch. Nidoqueen going for the Ice Beam, and that will be game over. Juan Pablo will be taking a loss this game.
Yo creo que a partir de esta match, Juan Pablo ha aprendido mucho que en primera Nidoqueen tiene demasiado bull, igual que Salamence, porque Salamence...
part of why a lot of players didn't try out the Nidoqueen thing after Japan Nationals is that Nidoqueen is really hard to use. It's not strong defensively, it's not especially quick, so if you can't constantly keep an advantageous board state for it, it's heavy. You know, it doesn't contribute to your team at all, really. And Brendan, from terrible positioning, managed to drag it back to where Nidoqueen can carry him to victory
Juan Pablo, lo que dicen aquí es muy cierto, que Juan Pablo tenía la presión desde el primer momento, pero luego... Ok, ahorita sí puedo ver los equipos. Tiene a Fini. ¿Por qué no lleva a Fini? No, o sea, tiene Kartana, pero yo creo que maneja fácilmente al Kartana con Sar. Entonces, yo por mi parte, ahorita llevaría Lando Sar, no sé, probablemente Raikou porque da bastante, pero no sé qué. Sí, Brandon lo leyó.
It's going to be tough to do that 2 games in a row unless Brendan is just that far into his head. It's going to be a tough match.
I'm really interested to see if Brendan goes for the Snorlax mode again. It proves
Yo creo que
problematic.
Sí.
He managed to get the belly drum up, but all of Juan's team outspeed Snorlax, so it might be difficult for it to be able to use that boost.
Sí, muy cierto. En el meta anterior Snorlax era una máquina porque no todo tenía tanta velocidad y se jugaba mucho Trick Room. Ahorita hay muchas opciones para Taunt y demás.
So I'd be interested to see if Snorlax is still in favor in this game.
Lando Sar.
Vieron
que les dije. Lando Sar, Snorlax,
aquí that Snorlax and Tapu Koko combination coming out once more. Juan Pablo going for a best buddies combination. It's not a tag team GX, but it might as well be Landorus Fairy form and Charizard.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it should be. We've seen a lot of these two Pokemon paired together. Landorus able to use Earthquake safely with Charizard.
Earthquake, Dios, te llevas a Coco y de ahí haces un montón de daño a Snorlax y control Charizard con Hit Wave de one single hit Wave. Es un hijo de Snorlax. O sea, Charizard yo lo utilizaba en un equipo. ¿Cómo metía? Sí, Charizard y cómo mete de una onda ahí. Y ahorita es
be a lot of damage, so Brendan's going to have to do something to change this up.
And he's changing it up, a switch out, coming in.
Me pregunto si se habrá visto el
Salamence in favor of this Salamence, dropping an Intimidate onto Landorus, reducing his physical attack by 1 stage. Charizard going to protect. It does not want to eat any electric type damage from Tapu Koko. Landorus goes for the knockoff. He was prepared for that Snorlax.
¡Qué
Not knocking off
buena!
anything from Salamence because of the Mega and Tapu Koko.
Pero yo hubiera hecho knockoff al Coco.
Yeah, but you kind of love this turn if you're Brendan. Not only you get Salamence in with an Intimidate, but that speedy Landorus now forced to keep using
Hubiera
knockoff
hecho
on
Rock Slide
2 Pokemon who have
pensando
items.
que...
Tapu Koko may, yeah, it could be either way. I mean, these with Skydrop, you'd kind of think it might be not a Z Crystal, but still too dangerous to stay in, and we see Landorus bailing as you'd expect.
Yeah, and again, that Hitmontop's Intimidate
will prove
very useful going on to that Salamence.
Porque
and
Hitmontop sirve
we see
un montón de
Charizard
pivote,
switching out
¿no?
as well. Doesn't do enough damage to this Salamence on Brendan's side.
Creo que Raikou tiene Bolt Up. No,
Hidden Power Ice, obviously very potent, and Electric type.
Is getting that free switch to Nidoqueen and a Tailwind off. Protecting it so well in this series.
Salamence being a very loyal subject to Nidoqueen here, allowing it to rule this game with an iron grip. But he's got to get past this Hitmontop fake out this turn. Raikou will be free to start throwing out some damage. Salamence forced to protect here. We're going to see a protect coming out from the Nidoqueen as well. Yes, there we do. Doesn't want to take any unnecessary damage. Very smart play from Brendan
para no arriesgarse el fake out de Hitmo y que Raikou hiciera lo que quisiera.
Yeah, and we do see the Z move coming out here, so still going to have some decent damage on Salamence through this protect. What's really going to matter is if it does enough to put it in knockout range from that Hidden Power Ice.
Yeah, you imagine this is why Juan Pablo has gone for it. And also, hey, electric terrain's on the field. That damage is going to be increased once again. Raikou launching a Gigavolt Havoc into that Mega Salamence, which has protected. The damage will be reduced, but look at it, still a very nice chunk, and that should be Hidden Power Ice range.
Yeah, I mean, like it's just tight enough that I'd be a little scared, but I think you have to assume it's going to pick up the knockout. Nice play by Juan Pablo. We've talked a lot about Brendan playing Nidoqueen so well, but that's also the second game in a row where Hitmontop got in at the right time to use Fake Out and burn one of these turns of Tailwind. Again, another great match between two really good players.
Yeah, Hitmontop and Raikou are really the problem Pokemon for Brendan here. Nidoqueen in a position where it can do a lot of damage to both of them. Both offensive options for Brendan are in a good position, but the Raikou still able to start putting in work. It needs to be able to survive an Earth Power though. We see the switch out. Tapu Koko coming in favor of that Salamence as Raikou leaves the field. Very smart switch. Earth Power will not be able to affect Charizard with its flying type. Will be immune. Hitmontop coming in once again as well. That's going to be Landorus, and wasting these Tailwind turns super important for Juan Pablo.
Yeah, I mean, you assume that Nidoqueen was using Earth Power on one of his 2 Pokemon to see if Brendan made a big play here or if all the switching... oh, wow, it is Ice Beam.
What a read from Brendan Zheng, and that is a huge knockout.
Oh my gosh, that's such a great read too, where, I mean, you know that he'd like to cycle the Hitmontop and get that fake out again, but... man, it's tough to pick the slot. Risk not really doing any damage if there's not a switch. Brendan's been lights out with this Nidoqueen all match long, and now he's got a big lead in this second game.
Yes, and the ability to, we said, like, when you have speed control, you need to make the most of it, and that is definitely making the most of it. Would have been nice chip damage on any Pokemon coming in, even that Charizard as well, but more importantly, got that huge knockout, and Juan Pablo's back to the wall here. Nidoqueen retreating. It's going to be in favor for that version. Instead of Charizard X, Drought ability will be activating, boosting fire-type damage. Tapu Koko really under threat from any damage here, but it outspeeds Charizard, so Charizard probably wants to protect in this turn.
Yeah, or Hitmontop used the fake out.
Yeah, there we go.
Lets Brendan get that easy switch into Salamence.
So we see the fake out going into Tapu Koko. Another Tailwind, but it's from Charizard this time. Really nice play from Juan Pablo here, and making sure that he manages to get the speed options. Will hopefully be able to get rid of this Tapu Koko and allow Charizard to be able to make the most of that Drought ability.
Yeah, this is the first time we've seen Juan Pablo have the advantageous board in a while. However, the tailwind petering on Brendan's side kind of helps Brendan. He's in a position where he can probably get that tailwind up again right away, and I'd expect he's going to want to. Charizard not going to be able to fry both these Pokemon at once, so Brendan's again going to need to build his board up and then try to wait out this board while doing enough damage that he can pin Charizard down and avoid Juan Pablo using tailwind again.
Here's a switch out into a more offensive option for Juan Pablo. Raikou hitting the field one more, adding a bit of pressure to the field. Salamence protecting itself, not going for the tailwind. This might be a double protect, but no, just see the flamethrower coming out from Charizard. Tapu Koko is going to be eating that, and it's going to be doing a fair amount of damage here. Skydrop coming out from Tapu Koko. Looks like that could be Assault Vest, Scott.
Yeah, it's got to be with how little damage that did, but that backfired a little bit for Brendan. It turned out he could have taken that tailwind if he wanted it. Now because he didn't, Raikou is quicker than Salamence is, threatening a knockout there. Tapu Koko's damage on Charizard is not going to do damage, but at least it's going to prevent Charizard from attacking.
Va a sacar a Snorlax por el HP Ice que se le puede venir. Va a sacar a Snorlax, T-Volt.
For all the Pokemon that he could choose, Snorlax is a great option, able to soak up a lot of damage all the time. Hidden Power Ice going into that Snorlax, and Yum 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 doesn't really mind that damage at all. Skydrop not doing any damage to this Charizard because of the flying type as well, but it's unable to move this turn.
Yeah, I mean, it does do a nice job of helping to stall out this tailwind, but you know, Charizard also still not really threatened here. Weird thing to say with Tapu Koko on the field, but with the two quicker Pokemon on the other side, there's not going to be a whole lot of trouble to get tailwinded up again if he needs to. However, ignoring Snorlax is a really bad idea. So,
Snorlax se recupera con la Berry, hace Belidra.
Maybe
luego que te sepa medio equipo.
Tapu Koko, but the advantage is on Juan Pablo.
Snarl.
Ooh, Snarl option coming out from Juan Pablo, but it misses the most important Pokemon.
Sí, perdió a Coco. Ahorita es
Snorlax, which isn't going to matter too much. Flamethrower will be going into that Snorlax. He was really hoping to get that Snarl onto there. The Berry activating on Snorlax will boost it back over its half HP range.
Es que ahorita el Snarl tenía que pegarle al Coco. Electro Web.
Speed
Control.
It's a very interesting move for Assault Vest Tapu Koko as well. Snorlax,
Speed Control. Electro Web, los que no saben, es un ataque de tipo eléctrico que siempre reduce la velocidad en 2 o algo parecido, no estoy muy seguro. Es en 1 o en 2, pero yo lo usaba con Pickleball no lo utilizaba. Esa era una opción para pegar para que no me afectara el down. O podía utilizar String Shot, que eso sí te baja la velocidad en 2, pero no hace daño. Y sirve mucho como support. Es casi un Icy Wind.
And the switch out has to happen here. Snorlax needs to be threatened with an Intimidate and Fighting type damage. It will be reducing its physical attack by 1 stage. And Tapu Koko will be going for the Volt Switch, preserving its electric terrain, but more importantly, preserving its health for later on, allowing Brendan to pivot one more time.
This could be another easy switch into Nidoqueen if he wants it.
And we see Brendan taking a little bit of time here, but he does reveal the Nidoqueen. With Raikou's lowered speed, Nidoqueen might be able to outspeed it. Hidden Power going off into the Tapu Koko slot.
Pero igual Nidoqueen tiene un bulk, hijo de toda su madre.
But the frustration going into Raikou shows that Brendan is really thinking about which Pokemon he needs to get rid of quickly.
Yeah, Raikou is suddenly a big problem. It's a weird thing to say, not the most traditional attacking Pokemon in the video game championship.
Yo intentaría hacer
esos Snorlax just healthy enough that Hidden Power alone is probably not going to pick up a knockout, but it and almost any other move probably would, so still a dangerous place for Brendan to be. We know that Hitmontop often runs feint. That would be really close with Hidden Power here, so still something to worry about on Brendan's side, especially with Hitmontop likely knowing close combat. Snorlax in some danger too.
But we mentioned it before, that lowered speed on Raikou does put a lot of pressure on it. Nidoqueen could outspeed and knock it out, but that still leaves Snorlax free just to get some chip damage around. Fake Out will be going into Nidoqueen, no protect there. Raikou goes for the Hidden Power as well. This could be a double up, Scott. It will be. Nidoqueen is going to go down here. Huge knockout for Juan Pablo, a very offensive threat taken down as Snorlax once again pressuring constantly with those frustrations.
¿No?
Yeah, and with its reduced
Ok,
attack,
aguantó, no vi cuánto le había hecho la otra vez, pero igual. Ahorita con que salga cualquier poco más rápido que Raikou se lo va a llevar.
But kind of a rough turn for Brendan.
Yo iría por el close combat directamente en Snorlax y es que no sé cuánto tiene de velocidad creo que se lo va a llevar Jolly porque solo ha pegado con
Juan Pablo calls it, gets that knockout, and now he's still in this one.
But Salaman's in a very good position here. Frustration should pick up that knockout on either Pokemon. Goes for Raikou because it's a very dangerous Pokemon. We discussed it several times. Gets that all-important knockout. Close combat going into Snorlax, taking out that opportunity for Snorlax to be in the win condition. But it doesn't pick up the knockout. Defenses fall as well, and the frustration will go directly into Hitmontop here, putting it well within range for a knockout next turn.
Lo que puedo haber hecho aquí hubiera sido...
proving how bulky it is, and now only Charizard remains. Going to have a very difficult time taking out this Salamence. And with both these Pokemon so low on health, Brendan seems like he's got this one. It's a really well played set by him so far.
Aquí bien hecho por Brendan.
Here. No disrespect to Juan Pablo at all. He has fought valiantly, but in the position we are at the moment, it looks like Brendan should be able to clean this up. He does reveal the feint. It goes into that Snorlax, picking up the knockout. Great play from Juan there, just to stop Snorlax from having any shenanigans later in the game.
Sí, pero sí, estando Salamence iba a picar la kill en Charizard y Hitmontop ya no hace nada. No hace nada. Nidoqueen es más rápido, Salamence es más rápido, Hitmontop es un support con muy pocas opciones. Nidoqueen ya había caído. Sí, Coca es más rápido, Salamence es más rápido. Hitmontop no puede pegar con nada porque su move pool tampoco es como tan grande y normalmente lleva siniestro lucha normal en ataques VGC. Y esto es ya, sí, o sea, intentar.
Really great play, handshakes delivered from both players, and the Volt Switch should be able to pick up the knockout on the Hitmontop. Brendan Zheng will be taking this round 3 game at the Pokemon 2018 video game.
No sé, yo hubiera elegido
We've talked about him being
a
former world champion. That was in the junior division, and it wasn't that many years ago, right? Seeing him now in the most prestigious tournament in the eldest age division, and just amazing play. You know, that may be the best performance we've seen so far tonight.
Yeah, some serious instinct coming out from Brendan to make the most of his Tailwind, make the most of those switch-in potentials, and this is something that we'd spoken about in previous tournaments, how Snorlax is a Pokemon that loves to steal attention. Whether it's attacking or not, you need to respect that Snorlax is there, but Nidoqueen is also one of those Pokemon, and once it's under Tailwind, you've got to play defensively against it, which allows the other slot, like you mentioned, Scott, to be able to wreak a bit of havoc, and when Snorlax and Nidoqueen are paired together, destruction.
Ahorita lo que dijeron rápidamente es que Snorlax es un Pokémon que se tiene que respetar igual que Nidoqueen porque durante la matchup fueron muy constantes en la presión que le metieron a Juan Pablo. Ahora, la combinación de estos dos es destrucción o algo así dijo el calvito este. Y que además de ello, los switches, el switch potential que tenía, para sacar un Poké, quitarlo, meter a otro y así sucesivamente, como lo vimos en toda la match de Brendan, que fue ideal para complicarle las cosas a Juan Pablo. Hubo una predict que yo me veía de lejos, que era la del switch de Salamence a Snorlax, que ahí tuvo que haber tirado T-Ball, yo pienso.
Players using some of these unconventional teams. I don't think anybody had a game plan for this combination of Pokemon going to the tournament. Tough to come up with something like that in the fly. Just a great plan for Brendan.
Es demasiado raro ver a Nidoqueen. O sea, sé que ganó un internacional,
Juan Pablo, the combination of Raikou, Hitmontop,
o sea, no estaba nada en el meta ahorita.
Super cool. And he played it exceptionally well. If Brendan wasn't able to freely send in the sponge that is Snorlax to be able to eat those attacks, it could have been a completely different game, and Juan Pablo should not be
Vamos a ver quién comentó.
dissatisfied with his performance. Brendan Zheng, a very accomplished
Ok, comentó Rafa.
We know for a fact that Juan Pablo had the ability to take those games. He put so much in.
Pero igual, ahorita en el postgame análisis están diciendo que... Están diciendo que... ¿cómo se llama? Están diciendo que Brendan hizo muy buena performance en todo. Sí, el Raikou muy bien utilizado por Juan Pablo, pero le falta mucho knockout potential. Le falta bastante.
Thanks, guys. I am here with Brendan. How are you feeling after that match?
I'm feeling really good.
I bet. You know, if people at home don't know you yet, could you give kind of the brief history of your Pokemon career?
So I won Worlds in the Juniors Division in 2013, and I got in because of my brother, and he's commentating right now, so yeah.
How is that?
It's pretty surreal, to be honest.
Yeah? In what way?
I kind of want to follow in his footsteps, and to have like a family member be so involved in the community is honestly pretty awesome.
Well, you're doing pretty awesome yourself. You've now won this match. Tell us a little bit about it from your point of view. What were the highlights?
So my opponent had a really hard time dealing with Nidoqueen, and so turn 1 of the game 1 started off with him doing a lot of damage to my Snorlax. I figured Snorlax, I didn't really need to win the game, and I set up Nidoqueen and Tailwind, and
voy a dejar a los comentaristas de fondo un rato porque tengo que hacer ahorita. Entonces, vamos a ver esto.
I didn't think the Raikou was a great matchup for me, but luckily it wasn't as fast as I thought it would be, and as a result, yeah.
Les voy a dejar a los comentaristas de fondo, ahorita vengo, y a una entrevista que le están haciendo a Brendan. Entonces ahorita vengo.
What are you hoping to achieve here?
Number 1.
That sounds good to me. Congratulations again. We'll watch your match with great interest, and we'll be right back with more after this.
Sí. Faltan 8 minutos para el siguiente match. Voy a comentar las posibles matches que... o sea, voy a comentar creo que la siguiente y ya los voy a dejar por hoy porque tengo que preparar otro directo para más a la noche. Vamos, entonces, a ver qué onda. Alguien me comentó que no sé. Vamos a transicionar aquí. Ah, la verga. Ok. ¿Aló, ma? Marcela. Y ya estoy de regreso. ¿Qué me está comentando? Vamos a ver qué me está comentando mucho. Ni idea. Rafa, deja de hacer spam. Ya dentro de poco debería iniciar la siguiente match. O sea, dice que el comentario en directo se va a resumir en unos 4 minutos. Las matches inician alrededor de las menos cuarto de cada hora. Así que toca esperar. Ahorita están viendo como lo que ponen en intermedio Pokémon a cada rato. Me pregunto si van a poner algún latino aparte de Juan Pablo ahorita en la... O sea, pusieron en la primera ronda un argentino que tuvo la mala suerte de enfrentarse a Ryota porque no pudo hacer nada por ese tema, pero no pudo hacer nada. Y ahorita a ver qué onda. Yo creo que ojalá pusieran un guatemalteco, sería como lo mejor que pusieran un guatemalteco ahorita. O sea, fueron 5 guatemaltecos fueron 5 guatemaltecos al mundial, no sé cómo les esté yendo. Espero que les vaya bien. Yo quiero ver un guatemalteco por lo menos en el Day 2. O sea, las matches del Day 2 ya son como que más ya no las miro. Ya no miro casi las matches del Day 2. Pero still en serio, en 12 minutos van a resumir el comentario. ¡Qué triste! O sea, lo van a resumir hasta después. Ay, no mucho, yo creo que voy a cortar el directo porque qué hueva. Así que ya vengo, Dios.